Okay, so excuse me. Do you remember all of how your pregnancies went? Like, do you remember all of the journeys and the experiences?
Girl, no.
No.
So no. So my first pregnancy, let's see. Let me try to think. But my first pregnancy, I got pregnant in college. So I was a freshman in college. Um and I think at that time I had never been in a serious relationship. And so, there's a lot of things that go on with women. We are emotional. That's without pregnancy, right?
Yeah.
So we're emotional. We can be possessive. We can be uh, what do you call it? Very insecure. Especially like when our bodies are changing. And so you think about it when you're on a college campus with all these other females, you know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
you're already whatever, and then you get pregnant, and then so you're dealing with that. And I think it was so unexpected for me. I couldn't believe that I had made what I considered at that moment such a big mistake. And so it was very difficult. I didn't know how to convey that information to my parents
Hmm.
because I'm going away to college to learn,
Right.
not to come back with an extra package. And I already was not independent. You know what I mean? So like I still relied on my parents for, financially, emotionally, all that. You know what I mean? So it was kind of tough. And then this gentleman I literally had just met my freshman year, and which are the kids' father, by the way. But I just, it was just all new for me. So you think about a new relationship, um, new you, because
Hmm.
as you're developing in college and as you're growing and maturing, you're discovering you, right?
Right.
And so I'm dealing with that discovery of self. And then you bring on a new baby, and then I'm in another state. I went to college in Mississippi initially. And so I'm in a totally new state,
Hmm.
and I'm around surrounded by people who have, I would say, inadvertently became my family, because those are the people that I was around, even though I didn't necessarily know them super well.
Right.
They pretty much were my family because that's who I was around. But so that pregnancy was very difficult, because I felt like we weren't tied to each other. You know
Mm.
what I mean? So there was always this possibility that he could find somebody else, want to be with somebody else, and then there I'm stuck. So you kind of have all those thoughts in your mind, and so
Yeah.
you're just kind of going through through an emotional roller coaster. But it was really tough, and I think the hardest part was knowing that I had to go home and reveal
Right.
that I'm pregnant. So it was kind of tough. It was really kind of stressful. But once they found out, and then it was like everybody knew, you go back home, and you go to school and be successful, and you don't finish, and then you come back home, and then everybody's looking at you like you supposed to be the church girl. You pregnant, that kind of thing. So it was rough. But after that initial shock, I think it was cool. And then Norland, number two, I remember he was like 14 months after the first one.
Mm.
And that pregnancy was kind of tough because I hid it literally for 8 months. I hid it from my mother.
How
I mean,
did you do
I
that?
hate, I don't know. But so I worked at Hardee's, which has nothing to do with how I hid it. But I just go to work pretty much. I already had a baby, first off. And so I would just, pretty much go to work and wear bigger shirts. You know what I mean? So, but I don't know how I was able to. And honestly, there's this thing called discernment, people that are of faith and all that stuff. So I'm sure she kind of knew something, but it wasn't like definitive.
Right.
So but yeah, I kind of don't know how I hit it that long. But what happened was, I know you ain't asked me, but can I tell you? So I went to work one day, and somebody bust me out at work. Like my mom came in to like pick me up or something, and they said something about me. I don't remember exactly what they said, but they said something about me having a baby. My mom did not. She didn't know until that moment. So can you imagine your mom picking you up? First of all, you're already living with her. That's the one thing I didn't mention that. So I had to, once I left college, I came back home to be with my mom because of course that's where that was my residence anyway, right?
Right.
So um anyway, yeah. So can you imagine though, like your mom picking you up and finding out from a coworker who just opened a big mouth and bust you out, and then you got to ride home in the car with your mom, and she like, wait, you pregnant? And then the thing is, she's like, you already got a baby, right? Like he ain't like running around, like 8, 9, 10. He like a
Right.
baby because they're 14 months apart. And then you got another baby. You don't have your own house or anything. And I don't think I even had a car at that time. So it was just a lot of pressure. So that pregnancy was really tough. But the thing was, he was in the military. So the idea was that we were going to get married, but we weren't married at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And so anyway, initially my mom basically told him, you need to come get your family. So of course he eventually got us or whatever. Then a little ways down the line, I think D, he's the youngest.
Mm-hmm.
I think him and Norland maybe it's a shame that I don't really know, but like 5 years apart or something, 5 or 6. So really I was kind of almost free, not really, but sort of, because I had 2 toddlers and I'm like, they walk in, they about to go to preschool and school, I'm straight, I'm good. And then I got pregnant because I ended up going back to my husband because because we got married by this time, so I ended up going back to him because we had separated. And so then I got pregnant again, and that one was really tough because guess what, we were on the verge of divorce, and so we end up separating again, and that was for good. So that one was a tough pregnancy because I felt like because we were so distant and had just communication issues and things of that nature, I felt like he didn't really build a bond with my youngest son. I felt like he kind of was a little distant or whatever. So that was kind of tough for me, that particular pregnancy. But all in all, I mean, we made it through. So yeah, that's
that's really all that matters. You made it through.
I made it through. Yes, Lord.
That's great. That's good.